Welcome back to your latest industry recap, and no, I'm not going to be taking a look at 3 stories like I normally do, but instead a bit of an update on what's happening at American manufacturer Boeing once more, who will temporarily furlough tens of thousands of employees in an ongoing response to strike action. Furlough being a word that we probably became all too familiar with during the pandemic, but is now only being conducted if absolutely necessary. That strike I mentioned follows a union representing employees overwhelmingly rejecting a new contract put forward by the plane maker, and consequently also voting in favour of a pretty major walkout. The major walkout has halted production across several aircraft types, but this includes the most popular 737 MAX and has had major ramifications on the business. Boeing is temporarily, I might add, furloughing employees as it attempts to preserve cash amid financial turmoil that is only getting worse, as all this action just continues with no end in sight. Boeing is said by analysts to be losing over USD 100 million every single day, and as the walkout continues and the ramifications are looking to get only worse. In fact, some analysts have warned that the financial impact could reach into the billions, and honestly, just thinking about it now, with this strike nearly being a week long at the time this video goes live, and considering all the ramifications that will come, you could probably argue that it's going to be a pretty safe billion-dollar ramification. Boeing has had a very troublesome 2024, and despite bringing in Kelly Ortberg to replace the outgoing Dave Calhoun to lead the company through the trials and tribulations, there are still many challenges that are in front of it. The labor agreement that was rejected was one of the first contracts revisions actually presented to these employees in some time, and the union ultimately did not take it all that well, neither the employees it was representing. Furthermore, the idea of the contract not being taken all that well is now not being aided by early attempts to reach a solution going a bit pear-shaped. Why? Well, because the union believes Boeing is not taking matters seriously, remembering that the early stages of this week were earmarked as critical for meetings to take place and a resolution to be found, seemingly not having happened just yet, and if anything, the union being quite frustrated with the plane maker. For reference, the initial offer looked at giving employees a 25% rise. However, this was well below the union's expectations of 40% across 4 years. The primary reason the 25% was believed to not be enough is that the wage increase would be the first in some time, so we're already looking at a wage that is not competitive, and with the 25% increase, well, the belief is it does not reflect inflation and the overall cost of living pressures. Boeing says it will continue customer support programs, certification, and prioritize the continued production of the 787 Dreamliner looking into the short term. However, obviously other elements will struggle with these latest changes. I certainly focus a lot on the 737 MAX because this was an aircraft type that was already struggling with enhanced oversight and production caps being placed on the manufacturer from incidents that were unrelated to this strike action occurring earlier this year. Now, when you're considering the walkout of tens of thousands of employees, and on top of that, upcoming temporary furloughs, well, you're basically halting MAX production, which also is their most important aircraft in the portfolio in terms of just how much they ship off and just generally how much airlines rely on it. I'd love to hear your take on the temporary furloughing, as well as how you see the next few weeks panning out. Is a resolution set to happen quicker than we imagine, or are we going to be kept waiting? Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for big aviation updates, no doubt.